show you the progress I got here so far. This is a tough one. All these bends with the heavy sheet metal I'm using, because I don't want this to happen again. Having to make channel and everything else, it's pretty tough. So I'll show you what I've got. Guys, don't jump up and down and get all red in the face. I'm not done. I got welds to grind down and everything else, but it's 11:30 tonight. Getting tired, got a lot on my mind from that meeting. I'll finish it up and we'll go from there. I wouldn't even be doing this if they would reproduce these parts, but like I said before, the 73 is old enough and it evidently wasn't popular enough that they're not repopping these particular parts. And for me to buy another car for parts isn't going to happen. Alright, let me show you what we've got here, and you know the drill. Okay, this is all rusted out down here. I had to see if I can get the light down here a little better. As you can see, got some pretty interesting bends there. Had to use more than one piece of metal to shape it. There we go. I like that little light. It's got a magnet on the back of it. You can rotate it around however you want it. It's fluorescent. That thing has been thrown, kicked, stuff set on it, everything else, and it just really works well. Our preacher gave that to me, and I tell you what, it's helped me out a lot. Got these bends here. They were kind of tough to make. I don't have a brake. I don't have really any metal working equipment except I got the welder. I got a 4-inch angle grinder, a vise, some hammers. It's really all I've got. And just me not knowing that I can't do it, like I've said before. This I had to make, yeah, I got a little red with the welder. I forgot to put my sleeves on. But I had to make this in 2 pieces. I got the one that comes down here, and I could get these bends here, but I couldn't get through, make this bend all the way through, and because it bends this way as well as this way, and I couldn't do it all with one piece. It wouldn't do it for me, so I had to cut another piece out and weld it in. Like I said, I got to get these ground down. Granted, nobody's ever going to see them because it's going to be buried under the floor, but I'll know it's there. I don't want to do that. This piece here I had to make. I'm using heavier material. I got a piece that I cut off of that. I'm using heavier material than they used from the factory. I don't have any way to really bend anything like this accurately or anything, so what I did was I scored it with my angle grinder and used my vise, worked it over and got it in. I put some quick little welds on it. I'll go through with, I got to get some 30 thousandths wire in the welder because I'm using 23 that I usually use for body work, and didn't even think about it. But I'm going to go through and all these spots here I'm going to weld up so it'll be rigid again. I think it'll work. It's pretty solid. I mean, it's a lot more solid than it was. You can see a different angle here, but it's solid. It's not going anywhere. Got good penetration with the welds. Left that drain hole there. Metal's still thick enough all the way around it to hold it. Got some scale down here. Need to get rid of that. I got one little hole right there, and I'm gonna probably patch that. I don't like it. I still got to make the piece to come from here, contour down, and weld into this one. Like I said, I want it to be done right, and that's where the factory stopped at. they didn't cover this whole bushing with this. It just came down, and that was that. So have to get on that again, maybe tomorrow. Depends on what's going on, how cold it is. Found some more rod over here in the sidewall. That's not going to be a big deal right there, because that's just thin sheet metal. Wheel wells, wheel tubs. Gonna have to reshape some metal and put it in there. I thought I was gonna get away without having to do it, but somebody decided to put seam sealer in there, so it looked like it was good. And once I got in here with my wire wheel, all that seam sealer came out. I still have to make the piece to cover all this yet. I'm going to use thinner sheet metal, probably something similar to the original quarter panels that I cut off of here. They've got enough good material on them to do that. And they're just about the same thickness as the floor. So, and that was a shock to me. Got to come up here. This has some funky bends in it. It comes from under this piece, bends up, kind of does a little wiggle deal, and underneath this one. That piece is only about 1.5 inches, 2 inches wide, and then these are tacked into it. So, ought to be a fun one. I want it to look right, but I want it to be strong. I don't want to be doing this again. I've got some cleanup work to do up here. I got a little spot here where the metal was thin, so I'm going to get in behind it and sandblast it and just weld another piece in, because I'm not going to take this whole they call it a firewall actually in the book for this. I'm not going to pull that all up. I'm just not. This isn't a concourse restoration. This is just for a street toy, you know, something to have in the garage that not everybody's got. So it's 73. That's the year I was born. So we got a little connection there, I guess. And the fact that I've seen this car for probably 20 years before I got a hold of it, you know, and I've always liked it. But old thing's been around quite a bit. A lot been done to it. A lot of cobbling been done to it. We're trying to fix that. My wiring harness for the tail lights and all that good stuff. You can look in here. You can see all the way through to the floor back there. I mean, floor of my garage. The light you see back here is actually cement. But like I said, I've got another floor pan for it. It's out in the shed with the floor pan for inside the car. Just gonna be a process here. If I wouldn't have had that meeting, I'd have this all done tonight. But it is very important to keep the guys up on what's going on up there. Fire station. We all have to be on the same page, know what's going on. The church that I grew up in, they just found it to have structural problems, and we had to be aware of that. Right now the church is closed down, but they have another business owner that is letting them use his meeting conference room. So little things like that we have to know. Keep everybody safe. Safety first, no matter what, guys. Building a car, walking across the street, safety first every time you do something. Okay? Enough rambling. Gonna close things up for tonight and call it good for now. So let's hear some comments, see some information posted on my channel here or something. It's been getting better. I've been getting more emails. Still got to know what you guys want to see. and like I said earlier, I took the windows out.